morning. If you are new to Community Day Gentle Exercise Yoga, welcome. If you are returning, welcome. I always like us to have a little bit of something to drink. I like us to have a little, if possible, a little tool just to kind of bring a little stretch and a little release, and sometimes a little stretch. So a towel will do this job if by any chance you have a exercise band from other parts of your life. Just make sure it's not one of those thick, heavy black ones, unless you like that, because they kind of are color coded, and green means, in my mind, go, you can do it all. So, good morning. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna, can't quite see my feet. I'm always working on my camera angle. Let me try one more. Oh, there are my feet. And we lost my head. Okay, one more little adjustment. Okay, so we kind of have the best of everything right now. A little bit of my feet, a little bit of my head. So I want us to kind of notice our feet. If you have shoes on, that's fine. Just notice. I'm picking up my feet to show you I have feet. And if it feels all right, just press into your feet enough that all of a sudden you feel your quad muscles, these big muscles, we want to kind of wake them up. And if we press into the mounds of our big toe, kind of right here, that pad on the bottom of the big toe, and then roll our attention to the pinky toe, just kind of feel that you don't necessarily have to be able to like definitely say, oh, that's my pinky toe, but just awareness to the outer edge of the foot, then awareness to the inner edge. And you may feel as you engage your core that you're kind of floating forward. I sure am. So I'm going to bring those shoulders back over my hips. Roll my shoulders away once. And when I'm rolling them and stretching my chest a little bit, my shoulder blades come together in the back. And just one more time here. We're going to do one of my favorite good morning stretches. So I will get the camera angle right, I promise. Almost there. So what I'd like us to do is just start in this nice tall pose. It's called mountain pose. If you like doing your stretching from a standing position, not much needs to change here other than you stand up, press your feet, stretch your fingers towards the earth. And all we're going to do just to get started is we'll inhale our arms up, just out to the side, and give our fingers a little bit of a wiggle. Then we're going to stretch our hands forward. Nothing tricky. I am not the tricky teacher. Then we'll press our palms towards the screen. And what might happen is your shoulders come to say good morning to your ears. So let's say no. Let's make lots of space between shoulders and ears. We will bring shoulders towards ears, but not right now. So your fingers are wide. You're getting a little bit of a stretch, and then we're going to just bring those fingers down. And inhale, exhale. It might feel great to double up, and when your fingers come down, your heels come up. And when your fingers come up, your toes come up. Just add what you can. If you are standing, please move this into a heel lift, not a toe lift. The advantage of being in the chair is we get to stretch the tops of our feet towards the shins. The advantage of standing up is you're getting a bit more of a balance challenge. Both are fabulous. And then bring the hands and feet down to neutral. Shake your hands down and relax them here. Let's pick up one foot. Doesn't really matter left or right, and just add some circles here. If the foot off the ground is more than you need, keep your toes down and you'll get a different and great stretch. Make sure you change directions. And if you are standing, make sure the supporting leg is active and this knee is soft. If you're seated, big hug in. And big hug in might also look like a stretch down. It's just a little bit of awareness to that first hip and maybe a point and a flex. And maybe that knee comes down, you hold on to it. Steady yourself with same hand on same leg and just come out a couple of times. You have a neutral foot and then a couple of circles. Good morning to this hip. And if possible, cross at the ankle and give this first hip a little rub. Bring those feet down and let's warm up a bit again. We're going to inhale. Now arms are going to come out to the side. We're going to roll those shoulders down. If possible, we're going to take those arms just a bit higher with a big old inhale. And then we're going to exhale those hands down, open our hearts nice and wide, 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 wide. Feel those shoulder blades come together. And while we're here and our hearts are opening, which is the chest, it might be a moment where you can breathe in, exhale, and as you breathe in, just breathe in a sense of feeling really good about how you're starting your day. You had a lot of choices of how to be, where to be, and here you are. So a little bit of credit to you. Okay, a lot of credit. And then we're going to bring those hands down. And then we're going to bring up that other foot. Steady yourself with this hand. Maybe there's some circles here. If toes remain on the ground, that's absolutely fine. Make sure you change directions. Now, fingers interlace as you bring that knee in. And maybe you point and flex. And then as you're ready, hand here again. Let's go out and back a couple of times. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale. And if it works, a few little circles here. You can do a lot of support, little less support, change directions. When you're ready, let's bring that foot down, cross at the ankle, and do a gentle massage just on the outside of that hip. And we'll unwrap those legs and start a deeper breathing sequence. So I'm going to turn just for a minute to show you. I'm going to turn my chair. Now, my back is rather far from my chair. Why? Because in about 30 seconds or so, we're going to be opening our hearts, curling back. So I'm hoping to round enough that my shoulders come awfully close to the chair. And then we're going to forward fold, lengthening, coming down here. And as you can figure out, if my back was right against the back of the chair, that would not work so well. And still, I want you to modify so this sequence feels great. So here we go. Feet steady on the ground. We're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, release the shoulders from the ears. We're going to inhale, open our hearts, breathe into some great connection with nature or something that you just adore. And we're curling back. Hands to the knees. Breathe in tall and exhale, release down, chin to chest, elbows right near the ribs. We're coming up slowly, breathing in, exhaling, releasing the arms. Inhaling, arms coming up. Exhaling as arms come out. Rounding the back with an inhale. Exhale, coming forward. Now this time we're going to pull elbows towards us. And this, I call this shining the heart. So shine your heart, press those elbows towards the ribs. I'm looking up with my eyes, but not doing too much movement in my neck yet. And then steady here, release down, inhale, find the length, exhale, open your heart, inhale, round here, exhale, hands to knees, elbows bend towards your ribs, stretch your heart forward. Maybe you're even feeling your shoulder blades come close, and then sit back into mountain pose. Make sure your big toes and pinky toes are feeling the ground. Shoulders over hips. One more like this. Breath in, breath out. Inhale as we round. And exhale, hands to knees, elbows towards the ribs. Shine your heart forward, shoulders come to touch. And here we are, releasing shoulders down, steady feet on the ground. And here we go. Can you lift those heels? We've done this a little bit, but we're going to do a different thing. We're going to tap, 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 tap our feet out to the edges of our chair. So this, we're just creating a V stance. And so it may feel more comfortable to have your feet here. And it may be that you feel great, wide. I can't tell. You can't. So it might even suit you to close your eyes and go, okay, this wide is not going to work for a long time. Maybe this wide will suit me because we're going to move around side to side. So let's roll those shoulders back. And as promised, we're going to take shoulders towards ears. Ready? We're going to inhale those shoulders up towards the ears and exhale them down, down, down. So notice, like my hands and shoulders lift, and my hands help stretch me a little longer in the neck and shoulders. And one more time, inhale up. And exhale down. Yes. All right. And we're going to move around our spine now, just a little bit like this. So if you want to practice doing this, that'll be great. And what happens to me when I start doing these is my legs kind of wobble in. Let's try, if you can, just keep them active. So my trick is I press into the outer edge of my feet, and it kind of keeps my legs more steady. So moving from doing this, if there's a little bit more space in your midsection and shoulders, we'll bring the arms out, relax the shoulders down, and just stretch side to side. Adding one more thing is you can look at this back thumb and trace it back to center. Look over the other side. Inhale as you find the twist. Exhale, come to center. Inhale, looking back if possible, and exhale, and one more time, stretching around the spine, following the thumb with your gaze. And we'll find center. Yay. Let's take a little break in the arms, but all we're going to do is bend the elbows, and that just changes things a little bit. Now, elbows even with the shoulders, and possibly feeling your shoulder blades come towards each other. You can't see my hands, but they are, my fingers are long and my palms are facing the screen. Let's breathe in tall. We're going to tip to the left. 1, 2, 3. Come on back to center. Tip to the right. 1, 2, 3. Let's come back to center. We're going to inhale our arms nice and tall. And because we have a little heat in our sides, when we take left hand to right knee, that'll feel great. And This is where we start having a little fun by changing this pose to suit your body this morning. Some of us, it's going to feel great to bend that right elbow, take that right hand just above the hip, look over right shoulder, press the outside edges of the feet. There are some of us that it's going to feel delightful to keep that right arm up and keep looking at that right thumb as we come back. Big breath in. And here we go. Both arms up. Return to the beginning of all this good fun. Let's bend those elbows. Press those feet to the earth. This time we'll go to the right. 1, 2, 3, up to center, to the left. 1, 2, 3. Inhale tall. Right hand to left knee. Now, where does that left arm need to go? If you hug into the hip, then you may get a really lovely neck stretch. If you take that arm up, it's a little bit different. Both have wonderful stretching abilities. And we're tracing back. And then we're going to exhale, bring everything forward. So now our left hand's going to find left knee, right hand's going to find right knee. Let's breathe in tall and just do a gentle stretch. Chin and shoulder go to opposite knee. Inhale tall and exhale a couple breaths as we go over to the right. Inhale tall, let's find the center and here. Heels come up and we're going to tap, 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 tap. Heels come down. And we're going to do a moment or two in a gentle forward fold because we've kind of warmed up strong. So let's take our hands towards our knees, chin towards our chest, elbows towards the ribs. It may feel more supportive to find opposite hand to opposite elbow, chin towards chest. If you are feeling just like you want to add a bit to this, you're going to lengthen your spine. So now your gaze is going to be in front of your feet, 2 or 3 feet. Your shoulders come down towards your waistband and you're stretching the crown of your head up in a forward and kind of in a straight shot here. And then your tailbone is floating back towards the chair and you're getting a nice spinal stretch. If you don't need that level of activity, then just soften here, chin towards chest. Take a big breath in wherever you are. And then we're going to exhale, come on back. And you might remember I talked about hydration or having something to drink. I'm going to take a little sip of what I've got. Water. I know, I'm always wondering when we're doing these internet classes, like, ooh, what's in her bottle? With me, it's almost always water. The only exception is once in a while, it's Earl Grey tea. And I will tell you all about that if I'm ever having my Earl Grey tea. So while we're kind of moving around, I want us to find our strap or a little towel, and or even a stretchy band. I do not work for the Yoga Strap Cartel, don't worry. So I am happy if we just have a little bit of something here. I'm going to find the middle for me because why not? Now, if you'd like to do this sequence standing, we're going to be kind of moving into some standing work in a few minutes. So as yogini, that's a yoga student's choice. You can take this sequence standing. And if you're going to do that, I would like you to find a nice wide stance. And if you're going to be seated, make sure your feet and toes are active to the ground. We're going to move our hands just about a little bit wider than shoulder width. Nothing too fancy here. We're going to inhale our arms up, coming up, coming up. And for some of us, shoulder height is a lot. For some of us, forehead height is a lot. For some of us, straight arms works as well. And here's where you're going to say, boy, she's too fancy. I'm kidding. We're going to take a big breath in here, and then we'll exhale down. Let's move those hands one fist out. Inhale as high as makes sense for you. And exhale, come down. I know, super fancy. If you can go one more width out, that's fine. If you can't, I think you've got the theme. That's fine too. We'll inhale nice and tall. And exhale, come on down. And when you're kind of at that space where you're about as wide as your arms need to be, we'll do 3 more. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, coming back. And we don't need the strap to go any further back than the top of your head. Exhale down. One more like this. Big breath in. And exhale, come down. Now, if you are standing, I want you to be very mindful of what we're about to do. If you're seated, I also want you to be mindful. Everybody engage the core, please. We're going to take the strap, and look, we've made enough space to take that strap under one foot. I do not care which. And then maybe roll the strap around your hands, elbows right into the side. And again, we're going to be very specific in how we move here. This standing supporting leg stays very active, and this foot comes up. And again, for some of us, we need to take a breath in and say, you know, this feels really good. I'm going to hang out here. Some of us can bring that leg out a little bit. Some of us can stretch those toes towards the shin and push the heel like you're trying to give me a kick through the screen. If you are standing and doing this, just move slowly. And then we're going to bend that knee in. And you may remember a few minutes ago, we hugged this knee in. We're going to do that again. And then you might be able to take that strap into the left hand, right hand on the hip. Shoulders over hips. And we're going to go out and in a little bit more, just kind of playing with hip flexibility. And if there's a circle here for you, that's great. And we'll go the other way. Now here comes the fun part. Take the strap away. Bring your feet together. We're going to snuggle a little further forward in the chair, hands on either side of the hips, and we're going to take those knees side to side. If you want to get super fancy, and I'm kind of feeling that's one of those days, we'll take knees left, gaze right. Knees right, gaze left. Moving with the breath. Inhale, exhale. Keep your head level so we get a lovely neck stretch here. And we're coming back to neutral. I did not forget 2 legs. So I know you're saying to yourself, wow, she is on her game. So let's find that center point of the strap. Bring that strap under the ball of the foot. Now I'm going to wrap around my hands just a little bit. I don't want to have to do any death gripping on the strap. Left foot steady on the ground. Right foot picks up to whatever degree suits and fits you. Your core is very active here. So if I were to come around and look you in the belly, I would feel just a lot of engagement. And if you can, we'll take that leg out a bit or a bit more. Roll the shoulders, elbows to the ribs. Push that heel towards me, toes towards the shin. Ooh, diggity dog, this is fun. And off screen is actually my diggity dog, August. Sometimes he'll come to class, but I think right now he's very busy with his first nap of the morning. It might be a second nap, but that's August. We're going to take that knee in. And now Stratton's going to move to that right hand. Left hand holds onto that hip. And I'm just going to tell you, I need to move myself a little taller. And then we'll move out and back. Foot in a nice neutral or flex position. And if you still got a little here, let's do some circles. And then circle the other way. Let's take that right foot to the ground. We're moving the strap out of the work area, because the work area is in front of you for now. We're going to do some standing work to move back. And let's do a little bit of windshield wipering, but this time, first time we had knees going side to side in the same direction. This time we're going to go opposite and in, opposite and in. And this can be really interesting as you bring your knees out and move to the outside edges of your feet, bring your knees in and move to the inside edges. And you're going to say, boy, she talks about feet a lot. And I'm going to show you why. We're going to move to the standing part of our class. And I like, when I slow us down, I like us to think of getting up and down from our chair as kind of threading a needle. So hands to the side, nose over toes, engage the core, make this a really big part of your functional fitness. I use the F word, functional. Let's release the shoulders down, and don't do it. And it's gonna move enough that you can see all the fun and my crazy tie-dyed pants. I want us to move behind our chairs. That's my disco dance. Here I come back. So you're gonna see, oh, you can see my feet, yay. So now that I'm calmed down and settled, I'm going to look forward at something that's not likely to move. Press my palms to the chair, and you may recall in the beginning of class, we did some heel lifts and then some toe lifts. When we're standing, I want us to do heel lift and exhale down. No toe lift for reasons of balance, and I like everybody to stay nice and tall. If moving to standing work doesn't suit you, when you're doing this, I want you from seated in the chair, you are welcome to lift your heels, bring your toe down, your heels down and lift up your toes. If you're doing the standing work and you're feeling steady, then you kind of change things up. Maybe you bring a hand up. Now here's the best part. No one can see what you're doing except for me. So if you are like, this is the day where I need more support, then you got to just own that, be really glad of what you're doing today, not getting caught up in other stories of what a 20-year-old gymnast can do, because, well, we love them for what they can do. We got to love us for what we can do. Yeah. Okay. So I promise that we're going to move backwards a little bit, and we are. So release the shoulders, steady your feet. And now we're going to take our gaze just to the seat of your chair. Hands are either flat or holding on, and we're going to walk our feet back. I'm looking at you. I would prefer that you're looking at the ground between your feet. And then we're going to soften our knees the littlest bit, not a big old bend, but a little softness. So when we stretch our back, it feels like a delightful, welcoming pose where your arms are feeling stretchy, your knees have enough of a bend that your lower back is having a good time as well. If you want to get fancy, you can look to your right bicep. And we're going to move with the breath. Inhale here, and we're going to exhale as we take our gaze over to the left bicep. And you may say, oh, my right ear is parallel to the ground. Yes, it is. When you're ready to exhale, look to the right bicep and think about your left ear being parallel to the ground. And this will move one more time to the left. Then we're going to look right at the ground between our feet and chair. We're going to, if you're feeling super steady, do add a little bit of bend to your knees. This will really, it's an intense stretch of your hamstrings and your shoulders. If that does not suit you, don't worry. Ignore me. Keep the long legs going. And we are going to return to our longer leg pose. We're going to look towards our chair. Left foot plants on the ground, right heel softens, and we're going to either take a big step or a couple of steps. And look where we are. We're in a high lunge. I'm going to move my left foot back, but my left heel staying off the ground, sinking here. Now, it might suit you to get a little wider stance. So you can move that right foot out a little bit. See what feels most steady and wonderful. And then if you're feeling strong and steady, you can do an inhale, lift, and an exhale to sink. If that doesn't suit you, stay in the high lunge or bring your feet together, come to mountain pose behind the chair. If you're just saying, Ruth, I want to see if I can do those arm things too, that's all right. We'll take those arms down. And just like in the beginning, we'll inhale maybe halfway up. Airplane arms keep us steady. Exhale down. If this is feeling like enough, stick with this. If you want one more little addition to the party, we will take another one of those arm stretches. We'll inhale, hands all the way up. Exhale, arms half down. So 3 more wherever you are. And then, here comes the fun. Hands to the chair, that back foot steps forward. And we're nice and tall. Move away from your chair and circle your hips. Doesn't matter what direction you start, because we're going to take hips around like 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Long legs. If it's in you, if it feels steady, hands on the chair or hands out. I'm keeping my hands on the chair. I'm just going to do a little kick side to side because I can. And it feels good. And let's take a nice big breath. Reset into mountain pose, which if that phrase is a familiar, mountain pose is simply hands down, palms forward, toes relaxing on the mat. Crown, yep, crown of the head stretches to the ceiling. Tailbone stretches towards the earth. So this may give you a little bit of insight as to when we're seeing like police officers, soldiers at attention. Like, oh, that's a lot. Because when I do this, I feel my core, I feel my legs, I feel my ankles, my shoulders are active. And then when I go like at ease, it's all right. Things are good here too. But at ease is great. But we want to be a tall mountain, kind of growing towards the sky. And there we go. We're going to turn back to the chair. And we're going to move through a sequence. We're going to do a vinyasa flow. Nothing that we haven't already done. I'm just naming what you already can do. So hands to the chair. Inhale those heels. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale as we walk our feet back. Yeah, nothing new. Between the biceps. If you can, soften your knees quite a bit. This just to add a little pizzazz. And when you're ready, we're going to look forward and inhale. And that left foot, the other foot's coming forward. That right heel is hanging back. And you're going to make any adjustments you need. Get a very steady balance. My knee is over my ankle. And you can add that lift and lower. If you're feeling steady, you can bring those arms out. I like using them wide while I kind of figure out my balance. We can do the inhale up, exhale down. And again, you are welcome to take additional stretching with an inhale, exhale down. If you're in the chair, your right heel is back, your right foot is forward, and I really encourage you to take these big arm stretches. And then, finishing this up, hands to the chair, shine your heart forward, shoulder blades come a bit closer, and then the back foot comes up to meet the front foot. Stretch tall, find your mountain. Ooh, all right, inhale, nice and tall. Hands to heart. If you're in your chair, nothing we're doing is too different from what we've already tried. If you're standing, nothing we're doing is too different from what we've already done. So I'm going to turn to say, good morning. So glad you're here. Bring a little bit of space between your feet. If you're seated, what you're going to do is take that right heel up. And you're saying, wait a minute, she's doing it standing. Yes, I am. It's not going to be too different. So the right heel comes down, the right knee goes out. Okay, not so tricky. And then I'm going to go, better find my nice long spine. We're moving into tree pose. And for some of us, we have arrived. Our hip bones are forward. Hold on to the chair and maybe grow a branch. If you're seated on the chair, I would love a nice tall branch. If you're standing, wide branch might hold you steady. There are some of us who feel absolutely fine sliding that foot in a little bit, keeping that big stretch here. Some of us can slide that foot closer, heel is connected to the shin. Maybe you grow your branch. Now, there are some people that can slide that foot up, but keep that knee out. For some of us, that isn't going to feel great, so we just slide back. Then, find one big breath in. Smile to yourself that you're even giving this silly, crazy, fun thing a try. Bring that outside leg down. And again, nothing too different. We did it. If you're seated, you're going to pick that foot up and do some circles. If you're standing, you're going to pick that foot up and do some circles. Ooh. And then circle the other way. Standing or seated, one foot comes in front of the other. If you're seated, your work is done. If you're standing, maybe a little bend, little curtsy, stretch up, untangle, kick out. We're going to do a 45-degree turn and then 45-degree turn to the second side. And I personally, professionally, am going to just switch my chair because I want to see all you. Relax the shoulders down. One more thing. If we're almost at the end of class, and if you're just thinking, I've done as much physical work as I need to, I would like to return to the chair, that's fine. Just reverse thread the needle as you come back. Tree pose, seated or standing. Right leg is your anchor, right hand hold you steady. Oh, August is in the frame. That's my dog, August. Left foot comes out. Left knee bends, foot comes down. My hip bones stay forward, as do my shoulder bones, these ones. And then we're going to slide that foot closer or not. Grow a branch if that feels all right. Some of us can lift and bring that heel into the inside of the calf. Again, if you're steady and feeling just groovy, you can add anything you want. You can bring both arms up, both arms out. If you've ever seen a tree, noticed a tree, you're going to say, you know, other than when I go to buy a Christmas tree and they all kind of look like, I don't know, this, trees are different. Some are wide, some are narrow. The ones that tend to survive are the ones that wobble and make it back. The wind comes this way, comes that way, and they make it back. Let's bring our hands down, foot comes forward. Let's do a little bit of a release. Take that knee in a couple of circles back. Stretch your feet. Now that left foot's going to come behind the right. Gentle curtsy. This just basically gives your hips a chance to stretch. We are not practicing for when we meet the queen, whether that's Elizabeth or RuPaul. Either one is worthy of a curtsy, but stretch your feet. And now I'm moving my chair. Hopefully, I don't want you moving and doing any furniture moving. That's next week's class. I'm kidding. No. We're going to walk around our chair and reverse thread the needle. My hands come to the edges of the chair. My calves touch the back and up. My rear end lands just where I want it to land. Yay. So for about 30 seconds, we're going to move forward in our chairs, plant our feet, big breath in. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, do a little rounding. Oh, we've done this. This is an old friend. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the knees. This time we're going to bring elbows back, shine our hearts forward, look up. Maybe the chin lifts half an inch, not much more than that. Feel your shoulder blades come together. Reset. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, arms are down. We are breathing into gratitude to our bodies for getting us through this class, to this class. Breathing in tall, rolling back, a little bit of a back bend, chin to chest. Inhale to the long spine and exhale, hands to the knees. Big forward fold here. I'm going to do my favorite, hands to elbows, chin to chest. Mm-hmm. Stretching shoulders towards my waistband. Looking just past my toes. What you might be able to do as we're in this forward fold is inhale, feel your belly expand. And exhale, letting all that air go. Feel your belly scoop towards your back. When you're ready, hand to knee, hand to knee. Walk yourself back. Now, I didn't tell you about this. Oh, come here, buddy. August is going to come and help us finish up class. This is August the Doggist. So he's our surprise guest. Sometimes he shows up. And while we do this, we're going to move to the back of the chair. So now my back is actually touching the chair. Oh, that's why I didn't tell you, because it feels so good to get that extra support. Now we're relaxing our bodies. We're just letting our shoulders soften away from our ears. Our hands, shake them out just a little bit. Kind of flap them this way, flap them that way. And when the motion stops, whew, feels so good. Get your feet relaxed onto the ground and maybe tip your chin towards your chest. I'm going to interlace my fingers. We're moving into Shavasana. Letting our feet, the chair, the earth and gravity support us. Quieting our breath, feeling it slow down and perhaps even deepen. And when you hear the dog rumble, let's open our eyes, blink our eyes just a little bit. Press feet to the ground, walk a bit forward in the chair, not too much. And let's take a big breath in, bringing our hands to our hearts, pressing fingers and palms together. Feel that contact, that connection. And wherever you go today, the rest of the week, thank you for joining. I will be keeping my appreciation for your, I'm just going to say it because I believe it. It's pretty brave to step into a unknown or somewhat known online yoga class. You stuck with it, you gave it a try, and thank you so much for being part of our community day. There's so many good things ahead. So stay tuned, check the Trivande calendar for the community day, and until we meet again, namaste. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in you.
Thank you, Ruth West from Adaptive PE. Always wonderful. We appreciate you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have fun, everyone.